Riders, welcome back for another adventure. Now that the tomfoolery has been corrected, which was preventing me from getting spark on this thing, I want to move forward. I actually want to try to get a ride out of this thing today. And to that end, got a nice PZ26 carburetor, an adapter, gasket, air filter, fuel filter, the whole shoot and match. I'm probably not going to start out using that gas tank. It smells pretty nasty. So I'm probably going to have to go with an intravenous bottle to begin with. Well, let's go with progress or lack thereof. And here's the throttle off of that, and you can see it's broken part way down. So I replaced the throttle cable. I made a carburetor mount for it, and you could see the cardboard. One side I Permatex, the other side I oil. The side I oil is up against the carburetor. That creates like a guaranteed seal. As you're putting these rigs together, the last thing you want to do is be adding problems like a vacuum leak. Anyway, let me smash this together, and hopefully this carburetor isn't too tall to go in. So I'm not getting this carburetor on without getting this plastic and gas tank off, and right under the battery, sure enough, right, stripped. So I gotta go get a drill and drill that out. I show you all this to make you realize things never go easy. So we managed to get the plastic off, got the CDI loose from the plastic, got all that out of there without destroying things. This plastic is very crispy. I mean, we're talking fried chicken here. It's literally a mess. So as you're working on these, keep that in mind and be very gentle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this. I'll work it back and forth. Hopefully I can get that out of there without it snapping. Anyway, I'm going to wire it up. We did get the carburetor in. You could see how tight all of this stuff is. I don't know if that's going to sneak by underneath the gas tank or not. Hey, with all this stuff, right, you do your best. Slow and steady wins the race. Nice. That'll come right out of there, and I'll continue to have the mount without having to drill and retap it. So let's cold start this thing. My jump pack is on there, hooked up. I put the portable CDI back in. Once again, this is a cold start. Right on. Choke. Gas in it. I checked the oil, and we have just kind of trying it. Little starting fluid. kind of idle. Kind of. Well, I gotta put the seat on it. And, I'm gonna let it idle for a few minutes, kind of clean itself up. great carburetor. Hopefully, next time you see it, it'll be through the GoPro and we'll be taking a ride. I guess it shouldn't be much of a surprise. We are getting a little bit of smoke, considering how long it sat. Things have to reseat. You hear the idle is coming up higher. I'm going to turn that down. Once again, the engine's probably breaking itself in. Well, let's fire her up again. I'm just going to give her a little hoot to this, so I'm sure she fires. And if I had to guess, that float's leaking by on the carb. Boy, she's hard to get in gear. She's hard to get in gear because the shifter's locked up. Well, we'll try again in a minute. Let's hope for the best here. I had to put air in the tires. I had to put more gas into it. Hopefully she'll start. I think I got that loose enough to be able to grab a quick ride out of it. I think the gas is leaking by, so she might be a little fussy about starting. Let's hope for the best. Yeah, the shifter is sticking, so it'll go into gear, but then the clutch, the shifting clutch, you have to push it back into position to get the shifting clutch to work. So this is first, this is second. I think I might just leave it in second because it's going to be hard to downshift it. I happen to like this machine. It's like 3/4 size. The suspension is pretty good. It's got a nice ride. Wow, it's wet back here. You know, when I open her up, she's going to throw mud in my face. So we're in second. I tilt the scale at about 2 1/4, so it's got plenty of power for hauling me about. Right around Calvin's corners here. The old quadruple point. Closer to the house, I'll try the brakes out. Sometimes you try the brakes out and they stick and you can't get her home. back tire doesn't hold air. So that's a pest. You know, I should get back here, or up here, with some loppers and clean up some of that stuff while I still can. Around me, the spring or the winter has been warm. You guys can see the ground isn't even frozen. And the problem you run into from that is I live like in Kick Central. So I have a lot of trouble. You go into the bushes with them, and by the time you get out, get in, take a shower, you have like 3 or 4 that have bit into you. And by the time you dig them out, they like leave their heads behind or something. And you end up with these little scabby things that take forever to heal. And when they do, they leave a scar. So I think that's one of the reasons why the back area isn't exploited more by hunters and other people. I think they go back there once, end up having to pull a million ticks off and give up on it. And once again, especially if it's warm, I think this carburetor's leaking by. It's going through quite a bit more gas than it should be. I mean, I've revved it up a few times, but it's interesting using the intravenous bottle. Wow. It has enough brakes to skid. Well, I can put it in neutral. Let's see if she'll start on her own. Homie says no. Am I out of gas? I'm out of gas. Well, there we are. Managed to get a decent ride out of it. This is a decent machine. This machine just hit what I call money time. Money time is figuring out what I'm going to do with the carburetor, whether I'm going to put a Mikuni on there and give up on the bypass thing, or what I'm going to do with the carb. It did not come with an air box, so that has to be fudged into shape, whether I'm going to use a cone or you start digging with it. The piece of plastic that goes around this gas tank here is really trash, so it's time to order one of those. It does need a battery, and that back tire doesn't hold air. So as I said, I call it money time. To take it from here to a daily rider, one has to put in what, 50, 60 for a battery, another 30 on the carb. The Mikunis are a little more expensive. By the time I get those, call that $100. The tire, hopefully I can slime it back to life. The air filter, whatever that costs to bring back. And Steve will help me out with the seat cover. The seat is drying out. What I do is I stand it up, and the water drains out slowly. I'm trying to do that in a warm spot so it doesn't freeze, which slows the whole process down. I guess that's about it. Anyway, I hope you guys like this machine. Wow, this thing is actually a 5-speed. Check that out. I guess, and reverse is you give that a pull in neutral, and that gives you reverse. That's cool. A 160 with a 5-speed. It is a relatively light bike. Yeah, this is a nice bike, and once again, you even saw the front tires skid. Check that out. Hopefully they're not locked. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for joining me for the ride, enjoying watching the videos with me. Please keep the comments coming. You guys could see when I have time, like I'll answer a bunch of them, and then like my time evaporates, and then I try to get back to it, and sometimes I manage to, and sometimes I can't. Sorry when I can't. Once again, feet down, heads up. Make sure you get out there and enjoy each and every day. We got some winter coming to us starting Tuesday. It's been warm, as I mentioned, so we'll have to see how many more outdoor projects I can squeeze in between now and then. All right, take care, folks.